Well, what's up, y'all? 1 2 1 2 in the place to be. Now, Drake, Aubrey Graham, was taught it by Kanye West, who actually stated that Drake was the most important artist in the world, and made that statement that he was the most important artist in this generation and more important than Kendrick. And people were like, "What is he saying? Why would why would Kanye say such crazy things?" And that's why we're here, people. So let's get this adjusted. So I can explain this one more time. Kanye West came up on Chicago, on the south side of Chicago. I was on the south side of Chicago. I never had his mother's class, but she was a teacher at the university I went to. Kanye used to come up there and freestyle, and I believe the Harold Washington Hall, and used to freestyle with his K-Swiss, jean shorts, and polo shirts. He worked at Dakota in the mall at the Evergreen Plaza. Probably sold me my clothes. So that's about all about Kanye West I knew at that time. On the other side, I'm on 95th, on 87th Street. You got Common Sense, Sean Lett, his crew. Sean and his people are on point. Like, they had a whole rap thing. Common is bigger than Kanye at this time. Kanye is the guy that they call Kane. Some people call him Kane because they couldn't pronounce Kanye. They didn't know what that was at the time. And all he used to do was DJ, set up music and everything for all these other artists. So one time they was all booked, and back in those days, guys used to get robbed for their equipment. You didn't roll alone because somebody could jack you, and what could he done to stop any of it if they decided to take his stuff? So if it wasn't for Sean Lett, that's what I'm saying. Kanye West should probably could have checked the Sean Lett, because if it wasn't for that, you probably wouldn't have Jesus Walks. You wouldn't probably have none of those songs. But they was gonna just jack him for all his equipment when they was at a show, because the way he was acting. And they was like, man, we should just take his stuff. And he was just like, man, that's a young kid. We don't want to mess nothing up for Common, like let's not, do that. So Dirk was like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. That was a smart move not to do that, because it could have went another way. And Common, since he's been, doing his thing, this is before he even linked up with Kanye. He was overly, doing the things he's doing, going out, making his beats for everybody. It was all love, right? Then he starts to change. And he settles into the character that you see today. The arrogance. All of it was there. But his mother knew Kanye was special. He was different. He was unique. So they had to put him in an art school. He couldn't go to regular school like everyone else, because they would have crushed all that ego immediately. So she kept him in the right schools that would pretty much amplify his, or pretty much push him in a direction where he didn't feel weird or different because he was expressive. So putting him in an art academy was better for him. Now, what also was a problem for them was that they had 14 to 15 other people that was cool with Kanye. These guys were gangster disciples, and some was from mostly was from the Wild Hunnets, in past Michigan, and some was from Jeffrey Manor, but they were gangster disciples, and they were known simply as the Go Getters. That's the name that they would take, right? So, go getter was a term that they used to use on the streets back then. Yeah, I'm a go getter. So now the Gangster Disciples was calling themselves the Go Getters, and Kanye took that as a crew, and they were protecting him. At the same time, they were getting free beats and all this stuff, so they was cool while they was rapping. Shouts out to Cat One, if he's out there, and all of this stuff was cool back in the day. Just to give you some back context on it. So me and Kanye knew each other because I knew James Prince. He knew James Prince. He was Uncle Jay to us, but I knew him way back then. Kanye ended up meeting Larry Jr. And things go on from there. So I was familiar with Kanye West. Didn't really know him. Then SC, was with No ID. And SC and my cousin are very close. Still to this day. And SC was making all these beats, and he came from under No ID. Then Kanye West started coming out, blowing up, started yelling out No ID in the name. He's your mentor. And SC is like, huh? And I'm like, you never mentioned him before, SC. And it would end up being the same individual. So it's a small world. Now, when knowing all of this, things transpire, words be said, and people can keep it in conjunction with what others may think. But you can't take like what Kanye say, seriously. You can take it with a grain of salt because it's never going to come out the way you think. You can only imagine how it's going to come out, but it's never the way you think it's going to come out. With Kanye West, it's always going to be some way or some pattern to it. In one breath, Kanye will be saying, Drake is the most important thing in the world, more important than Kendrick, more important than anybody. The reason why he feels this way is he feels scorned. He feels scorned. He'll say that now because he's all mad about what happened because he jumped on the doggone like that remix without any talking to anybody, Universal, nobody. So he just jumps on there. But he forget the time when he said, we just let that pass, as kings, what he said, I'm the greatest ever existed. Yeah. See, he was praising all that stuff Kendrick was doing. Oh, I feel that he's number one. It's the big three. Look, it's just big me. You should never rap against Kendrick Lamar. You will lose. This man does this. He like Chung Lee. Street Fighter. That kick move, you just can't get past. It's a real difficult task, but perhaps it's someone who's a psycho genius. He's like, don't rap against Kendrick unless you're a psycho genius, like Kanye West. So that's the way his mindset was thinking. I'm a psycho genius. So in his mind, that all makes sense. But that's how he was talking at first. Then he put out his version and it got cut. The radio was told, they played it on the air. They was like, pull that. Lucian Grange had that pulled immediately. Universal did not approve that. Nobody approved that. Kanye West was just inserting himself on a remix and thought it was going to go over. And Kanye felt, betrayed. Like, hey, we was all talking about F. Drake. I jump on there and there's a problem. It's like, bro, Universal ain't cool with that. Lucian Grange. So it's like, oh, you've been on a wreck with Lucian, then thought Lucian was going to approve you to be on a record with the artist he got? Nah, bro. It's not going to work. He's dissing Lucian them on there right now. On the album, on that song, on that verse. So, of course, they not finna do business with you. But this is how Kanye moved. He don't even understand that part. It's alien to him. All he knows is Kanye. Everybody's against Ye. Why y'all against me? So now Drake is invincible now. Now he's okay. Yeah, F Drake. He's doing anything to try to entice Kendrick Lamar to diss him in any kind of way so he can get some of that buzz that Kendrick got. This fool made them build a stadium over there in Istanbul. So it would be the largest attended concert in history in the world. I gotta beat Kendrick record. It's like, dude, you do as many shows as Kendrick Lamar. Stadium shows. And Kanye can sell them out. That's why he back now. He back to the music because he needs the bread. That's why he's touring, the shows. He needs those millions. Don't let him fool you. Don't let him fool you. Now, he had to come to the table and apologize and everything else because he knows he's in trouble. Well, most people don't understand the process. The process was a lot darker. It was a lot, vicious, mad. And because it got out of hand, everybody was like, okay. Oh, damn. I can break my damn watch. But this was the avenue they chose to go down. Drake was never the kind of artist that we looked at and said, man, this guy is everything we wanted to be. Like, nobody I knew wanted to be him. Maybe some wavy light skinned dudes, but they would listen to his music only when he attached to himself to like the streets. Once the Wayne era dried up, he needed a new sidekick, a new person to bring him to the light. And then he changed on everybody. So, but yay, this dude is very selective in whatever he does. He's very much, off putting. And to say Drake is more important. Important where? Important how? Kendrick is the culture of hip hop. Drake music is not timeless. If you look at Kendrick Lamar and what he did to Drake, I always say if you made them battle 10 years ago, Because everybody said, man, you switched up on him, dog, and how you do that? You said back in the day Drake could win. Drake gonna beat him. I said, no, Drake had a better chance of beating him 10 years ago. Because Drake would have looked like the victim. Drake was as big as the planet 10 years ago. All the stuff Kendrick used on Drake was in the past 10 years. All the dumb shit he did, all the immature shit he did, all within this last 10 years. All this trying to be 21 Savage, he trying to be Gucci, trying to be Future. All of this goofiness he done did within the last 10 years. All of that material since the damn album came out. All this material came out since then. But let's say More Life is out, right? And then they battle after the More Life album. Do you know where big Drake was back when the More Life album was out? Then he dropped Scorpion. Well, the first disc was amazing, and the second disc was in. But that first disc, Mob Ties, like all these hits on Scorpion. I mean, it was massive. He went and destroyed all of it. Now, can't nobody look at him the same no more. So yeah, now there's no way he could be Kendrick. Because he ain't been that guy in 10 years. Mm, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. What does he mean? That Drake is important for hip hop. He's the most important. What is important about him? If he was so important for hip hop right now, the whole hip hop would be vibing right now. Right? I heard these idiots last year talking about wasn't no song of the summer. Cause see, you shouldn't have dissed Drake. Now we ain't got no song for the summer. I'll be like, dude, Kendrick is one artist. You know what hip hop is? You want a song of the summer? Tell your artists to get out there and make some music. Kendrick is one person. You mad because this corny nigga can't make no songs. Tell him to get his ass up, get his ghostwriters up and make a damn song. People be capping for the wrong thing, man. They just be Superman caping for all this BS that's going on. I'll be like, you talking against your own agenda. That's your own benefit. You want better music, right? Yep. So what the hell you fighting for the dude that's giving you the bullshit? I just don't understand. People don't even know what they fighting for. They just fighting. They just like Trey. They just come in and hate. Trey come in. Nah, cause see, you coming with that bull. I mean, Trey, you don't even know what we talking about. I don't know. I don't care what it is. I just know it's a bull. Trey, why are you hating before you even know what you're hating on? Don't matter. Cause I can. Oh man. So this is just another situation where Kanye West is upset because he was told no. He feel he's special and he's got this superpower or whatever. But Kendrick is like a supernova. He comes through like a wave. And when he does, everything reacts. The whole meter reacts. The people are galvanized. They are waiting to see what happens. They want the music industry to thrive again. Other artists are inspired to make music when Kendrick comes out. They start putting out their projects now. They trying to ride the wave and get this energy going. But when Kendrick go, he spend his time with his family. He's raising his son. He's raising his daughter. He finds the time and the peace. And like an artist, he waits. GNX is so incredible that people who played it 2 years ago when it came out, go play it again. Play it now. You'll have a new favorite song. And people have, oh, this album ain't nothing. I'm like, boy, you don't listen to nothing, do you? This is a grown man album. It's retrospective. Do you even know what that is? This album is so incredible. I was like, man, I was listening to it just yesterday, when I think last night. To be honest, it was last night. And I was listening to it on the way back, like, man, this lyrics. I was like, I don't think I got this far on this song. But man, this song is crazy. Yeah, Hard Part 6, the whole journey into the record business and everything, getting the deal. You know, it's like, no, this was, I'm like, it's life, it's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's like an essence. You're not used to hearing hip hop no more. You used to everybody sounding the same. There's no identity. Everybody wants to be this person. Do something new. Do something that's non-triggering. Do something that's productive. Oh, these people don't know what's up. Yeah, well, when they have a situation where there's a mission, there's a situation where there could be growth or opportunity, is not met often. Kanye West he's somebody that needs that energy. You know how somebody needs somebody to yell at them all the time so they can feel normal? They like to be in a house where there's a lot of arguing. Yeah, that's him. He want to be in a situation where people are arguing and yelling all the time. And I'd be like, dog, who could live like that? You know, that's how I feel. I'm just like, I don't even want to deal with it. I can't be around nobody arguing and yelling all the time. They're just like I grew up like with that. But I'm just like I can't do that 24 hours. Not in my olden days. You're supposed to grow away from that when you get older. Kanye need that chaos, like that chaos energy. He need that. He vibes and functions off of it. And when you see people like that constantly, always in a battle position, always want to, it's always a tussle. Nothing goes easy with them. That's why it's always the problems. Well, we'll see when it plays out. Before it's all said and done, we'll see how it plays out and how it works. Yeah, well, when it's all said and done, we'll see how it performs. You know, we want to, yeah, we want to see how far it goes. But oh, I got a surprise for y'all too. Uh, this gonna be on the Patreon. We gonna let y'all know what happened and what this photo means. Yeah, Patreon only VIPs. So hopefully you get it, and we out. Peace.